Emeka and Ada were the kind of couple that made people believe in love. Their love had stood the test of time, from their university days to the struggles of building a life together. Ada, a dedicated school teacher, supported Emeka as he fought to establish himself in the oil and gas industry. Their patience and hard work paid off when Emeka secured a lucrative contract with the help of Chief Okonkwo, a powerful businessman who took a liking to him. With newfound wealth, Emeka showered Ada and their children, Shidi, 10 years old, and Ifunanya, 7 years old, with gifts, vacations abroad, and a luxurious home in Port Harcourt. He never hesitated to express his love to Ada and his children. Their home was full of joy and happiness. It seemed their love was unshakable. Ada had thought nothing could shake their bond, but she was wrong because money, power, and temptation often test a man's loyalty. Everything started to shift when Emeka landed a high-profile contract in Abuja. This deal was the biggest he had ever handled, and he spent weeks away from home. During this period, he met Teni, a stunning, sophisticated, and intelligent young lawyer who was handling the legal aspect for one of the stakeholders. At first, their relationship was strictly professional, but soon Emeka found himself drawn to her. Teni was different. She was bold, confident, and had a way of making him feel powerful and desirable. Teni, on the other hand, had no intention of breaking up a home, but Emeka was persistent. He showered her with gifts, attention, and sweet words, convincing her that their love was destiny. When he asked her to marry him, she hesitated, knowing he had a wife and children. But Emeka was persuasive. He lied to Teni by saying, "Ada and I have grown apart. I'm only with her for the children." Eventually, Teni agreed. Now, what started as business meetings turned into private dinners, then long late-night calls. Ada noticed the change in her husband. He became distant, always glued to his phone, and started picking fights over trivial issues. She suspected something was wrong, but she never imagined it was another woman. One evening, after weeks of cold treatment, Emeka finally spoke the words Ada never thought she would hear. "I want a divorce." Ada froze. "Divorce?" she repeated, her voice barely above a whisper. "I'm sorry, Ada," Emeka said, unable to meet her gaze. "I just don't love you anymore." After everything we've built together, she asked, tears streaming down her face. "What is the problem? Have I done anything wrong to you?" "Have made my decision and I don't owe you any explanation," he said. Ada was shattered. She begged, not for herself, but for their children. Shidi is just 10. Ifunanya is only 7. How will they understand this? But Emeka was determined as he stopped eating at home, avoided their bedroom, and spent nights away. Reality hit her hard, and she knew begging wouldn't change anything. Instead of dragging the matter to court, she quietly packed her things, took her 2 children, and rented an apartment just a few streets away. She refused to be humiliated. At first, life was difficult. She cried herself to sleep, watching her children ask why their father no longer came home. Ada had to juggle work, raise her children alone, and deal with the emotional wreckage of a failed marriage. The nights were the hardest, but she refused to break. Slowly, she picked herself up. She expanded her side business and focused on her children. She made sure they lacked nothing, even when it was hard. Meanwhile, Emeka and Teni got married, but what started as passion soon turned into regret. Teni wasn't the submissive, loving wife Ada had been. She was rude, opinionated, nonchalant, insensitive, and had no patience for Emeka's moods. Arguments became frequent, and soon Emeka realized he had lost a jewel for a fleeting attraction. It didn't take long for Emeka to realize that Teni was nothing like Ada. She was independent and career-driven, which had initially attracted him, but now he found it frustrating. Unlike Ada, who had always put his needs first, Teni made it clear that she wasn't the kind of woman to cook his meals or manage his home, even if he employed a maid. Emeka I'm not interested in managing any home," she snapped one evening when he complained about coming home to an empty dining table. At first, he tolerated it, convincing himself that marriage required adjustment. But the more he tried, the worse things became. Teni's late nights became more frequent, and whispers of her being seen with other men began to reach Emeka. One night, Emeka returned home to an empty house. Frustrated, he called Teni. "Teni, where are you? It's 11 p.m. Emeka, I'm not Ada. I have a life outside this marriage. Stop acting like an insecure man," she snapped before hanging up. Emeka felt a strange emptiness. One evening, as he sat alone in his home, his old friend Barrister Jide paid him a visit. After a long conversation about life, Jide sighed and said, "Emeka, if you truly want to know if Teni is with you for love or wealth, test her." That conversation planted an idea in Emeka's mind. He would fake a sickness to see if Teni would stand by him. The next day, Emeka met with Dr. Bassi, a long-time family doctor and a man he trusted. After explaining his plan, Dr. Bassi hesitated. "Emeka, are you sure about this? You are playing a dangerous game. I need to know if Teni truly loves me or if I'm just another stepping stone for her," Emeka replied firmly. Reluctantly, Dr. Bassi agreed to help. He prescribed medication that would temporarily make Emeka appear weak and exhausted. He also issued fake medical reports stating that Emeka had a serious but manageable illness, one that would require long-term care and patience from his wife. That evening, Emeka returned home looking visibly drained, his movements sluggish. Teni barely noticed at first, too preoccupied with her phone. "Teni," he called weakly, lowering himself onto the couch. She glanced at him briefly. "What's wrong?" "I just came from the hospital. The doctor says I have a serious health condition," he said, handing her the fake medical report. Teni barely glanced at it before sighing dramatically. "Emeka, this is a bad timing. I have a business event in Lagos next week. Can't we deal with this later?" Emeka felt a sharp pain in his chest, not from illness, but from disappointment. Days passed and Emeka continued this act. He struggled to walk, ate very little, and even faked episodes of dizziness. Teni's response? Indifference. She started avoiding him, staying out later than usual. One night, Emeka overheard her on the phone. "Babe, I swear, I can't do this anymore. He's sick now. Oh, I didn't sign up to be a nurse. I need a man who can take care of me, not the other way around." Emeka's hands clenched into fists. That was all the confirmation he needed. The next morning, he called his friend Barrister Jide. "Jide, can you believe that Teni failed the test?" There was silence, then a dry chuckle. "Omo, you see your life? You left a queen like Ada for this. Now you know what you lost." For the first time in years, Emeka felt deep, gut-wrenching regret. Later that day, Emeka, still pretending to be sick, asked Teni to sit with him. "Teni, I need you now more than ever. I might not recover quickly, but with your love, I know I'll be okay," he said, searching her face for any sign of affection. Instead, she sighed. "Emeka, I can't do this. I can't be trapped in a marriage where I have to play caretaker. I'm too young for this stress." His heart turned cold. "You mean you're leaving me?" he asked. She stood up. "I have to think about my future." "Then go," he said, dropping the act. His voice was no longer weak. It was sharp and full of authority. Teni turned confused. "What?" Emeka sat up straight. His supposed sickness was completely gone. "You failed, Teni. I faked my illness and you failed the test." Teni's mouth fell open. "You tricked me?" "No, I saved myself from wasting more years on you." "And so what? Did you appreciate your loyal wife?" Humiliated, Teni stormed out, slamming the door behind her. For the first time since leaving Ada, Emeka felt clarity. He had been blind, but now he could see. After Teni left, Emeka was thinking of how to reconcile with his wife Ada, so he explained his situation to his friend Jide, who encouraged him not to be afraid to try. So Emeka visited Ada and realized she had rebuilt her life beautifully. She expanded her small business into a thriving venture. Her children, Chidi and Ifunanya, were excelling in school. Despite all the pain, she remained graceful, focusing on her happiness and peace. Though Ada allowed Emeka to see the children, their relationship was strictly cordial. She had moved on emotionally, refusing to let his betrayal define her. One evening, Emeka, now a shadow of his former self, arrived at Ada's doorstep. "Ada, please, can we talk?" he said, his voice laced with regret. She hesitated but allowed him to talk. "Ada, I was blind," he began. "I threw away the best thing that ever happened to me. I hurt you, I hurt our children, and I have regretted it every single day." Ada remained silent, watching him. "I know I don't deserve forgiveness, but I am begging you from the bottom of my heart, please, let me be part of your life again, not just as the father of our children, but as your husband." Ada sighed deeply. "Emeka, do you know how much I suffered? How I cried myself to sleep while you were there enjoying life with Teni? Do you know the shame, the pain, the humiliation?" Tears welled up in his eyes. "I know, Ada, and if I could undo everything, I would have learned my lesson the hard way. You were the one who truly loved me, and I was too foolish to see it." He kept on with his apologies for days and weeks. Then one day, Ada said to him, "If I ever consider taking you back, it will not be easy. There will be conditions," she said. Emeka nodded eagerly. "Anything, Ada, anything." She looked him in the eye. "First, you must prove that you have changed. I will not let you walk back into my life just because you regret your mistakes. Second, we will not rush into anything. You will have to earn my trust again. And third, the children come first. If they are not comfortable with this, we will stop here." Emeka swallowed hard but nodded. "I will do whatever it takes." For the next 2 years, Emeka worked tirelessly to rebuild what he had lost. He focused on building a good father to Chidi and Ifunanya, helping them with school, spending time with them, and proving he was there for the long haul. He also attended therapy, working through his past mistakes and learning to be a better man. Slowly, Ada saw the changes. He was no longer the arrogant man she once knew. He is a better person, and this time, his love seemed genuine. One evening, as they sat down watching the children play, Ada sighed. "Maybe, just maybe, there is hope for us again." A tear slid down his cheek. He took her hand gently, holding it as if it were the most precious thing in the world. "Thank you, Ada. I promise I will never take you for granted again." And this time, he meant it.